Hi, and welcome to the Haverhill Journal, where we give you a quick look at what's going on in our city. I'm Lindsay Paris, and this week, the Journal is proud to be premiering the very first Journal segment produced by HHS's own History of Haverhill class. We've also got a tour of a well-known downtown building that you've likely never seen the inside of, as well as fun events going on with the Breakfast Exchange Club and the Baldi River Run. But first, the Journal crew put on our hard hats Tuesday morning and fearlessly set forth to capture the groundbreaking of the new Hunking school as a crowd of students, teachers, parents, and city officials gathered on school grounds to celebrate this long-awaited day. If you've driven down South Main Street in the past 3 weeks, you've seen drastic changes in the Hunking school landscape as tree clearing and grading has begun in preparation for the new building. At the official groundbreaking on May 5th, we spoke with school officials and the construction team to learn more.
Well, today is a monumental day in the life of the city of Haverhill. For today, the state officials, city officials, students, parents, everyone came together to break ground here at the Hunking School to see a dream that has started to come to reality.
Right now, what's happening is they're doing the foundations, then they'll follow with steel. Pretty soon the walls will go up.
The next step is for Lorenzo to dig footings. Next week we'll have the concrete guy on site mobbing, and then we'll be installing rebar and concrete.
I told the faculty when we left for April break, I said, you're not going to recognize it when you come back, and that absolutely is true. The first day that I came back after the construction has started, you really did feel as if you were in a different place. Nothing looked the same. The trees are gone. Any points of reference about where you were on the building and on the grounds. So they really have begun just absolutely prepping this site.
The movement of soil and the materials associated with the earth here at the site, that's really going ahead full speed today. And the steel is all processed and shaped, and once we get the foundation, we throw the steel on. And then once we do the steel, we do the envelope of the building. So that's what you're going to be seeing over the next few months.
The Hunking student body took a break from classes to attend the ceremony, and they didn't hide their excitement at being part of this historic moment for their school.
To look out and have an excavator digging out your schoolyard, or to have construction going on, I can imagine it's probably actually hard for the kids to concentrate on math when it's all this excitement going on. But there is a curiosity. The kids have been fabulous about it. They've done a great job at staying away from the site and being safe, making sure they're using the walkways. But the kids are excited too, because while they may not actually be in the building, many of them said, I can't wait to come back and see it. I can't wait to come back and see the new school.
Families are already anticipating the day, only 20 months from now, that their children walk through the door of that new building, so they'll be happy to know that plans are on schedule.
June 3rd, that's the first steel that's going to be installing. So the target right now is for the Lorenzo guy, the site guy, to keep moving, install the footings, and then the steel erection will start June 3rd.
We're going to hopefully take all of the students from this building and move them into the building in January of 2017 and fully open the building in September of 2017.
This building is eventually going to be where the ball fields are, where the playgrounds, the parking lots, and all the ball fields are going to be here. And the only way they can build that is when this is empty. So as soon as that moves in January 17, they literally will bring those cranes over, they'll bring the excavators over, and they will just start tearing this building down in preparation for the rest of the project. What's going to be nice is we'll actually be able to offer a quality of program that we have not been able to offer in this building because we just don't have the science labs. We don't have the technology. We don't have the infrastructure to really be able to offer what we will be able to offer in the new building.
The Journal will be making periodic site visits to the Hunking to check on its progress, so watch here for future updates. Students in the History of Haverhill class at Haverhill High this semester have delved into the rich history of this city. And one topic they have researched is a little-known historical event that would reach far beyond Haverhill to impact our entire country. The Journal is excited to present this next segment, produced by the History of Haverhill class, on the Haverhill Petition. Driving by the Essex Street Gateway mural, you may have noticed the scene at the top left, which depicts John Quincy Adams presenting the Haverhill Petition to Congress. E. Philip Brown's History of Haverhill class at Haverhill High School has been researching the petition, and with them, let's take a look back at what might be President Adams' finest hour. The Haverhill Petition was an attempt by the citizens of Haverhill in 1842 to dissolve the Union on account of its support of slavery. Members of the Union Evangelical Church joined together for the petition because they believed that too many resources from the northern U.S. were supporting institutions and companies that primarily benefited Southern slaveholders. After John Quincy Adams left the office of president in 1829, he returned to a seat in the House of Representatives. Now, at the time, there existed a gag rule within Congress, which meant the Southern slaveholders could enforce a law to prevent the discussion of anything anti-slavery. I'm standing here at the corner of Winter and Franklin Streets, the former Union Evangelical Church, where the Haverhill Petition was signed. Although the document was only signed by 46 citizens, what's interesting to note is the major impact it had on Congress. Why do you believe John Quincy Adams was so interested in Haverhill, which at that time was not even a city?
I believe it was because his family had roots in the city. On top of that, he also studied for his Harvard entry exam year.
President Adams never really tackled anything that controversial during his time in office. If he was so against slavery, why didn't he do anything about it until the 1840s?
One theory proposed is that while John Adams hated slavery, he hated the Southern powers even more, as the Southern played a big part in his re-election defeat against Andrew Jackson in the 1830s. Adams may have seen this as an opportunity to exact his revenge.
Adams presented the Haverhill Petition on January 21, 1842. With slavery as established as it was, the proposal was met with severe backlash. After Adams suggested it be moved to committee, the Southerners demanded that he be censured for perjury and high treason. After 17 days of holding the floor in Congress, it finally reached the table. How was John Adams able to convince the pro-slavery Northerners to change their stance?
After the attempt to censor him failed, Adams attacked and shamed Northerners for supporting slavery. Then people began to realize that slavery was impacting people's right to petition for their grievances, which is granted by the First Amendment. And after those events, the gag rule was disposed of.
Now, whilst Adams was indeed censured following his political standoff, the damage to the gag rule had already been done. He continued to renew his motion each year until in 1844, the gag rule was finally abolished, paving the way for the abolition of slavery 20 years later. Thanks to E. Philip Brown and his History of Haverhill class for bringing us this fascinating story about a little-known piece of Haverhill's past. Amazing work by Mr. Brown and his students. Mr. Brown will be producing more local history shorts over the summer, so watch for them here on Channel 22. They're here, they're there, and everywhere, in Haverhill, around the U.S., and in 75 countries internationally. But who are the Freemasons? Are they a secret society bent on global domination, or the world's oldest fraternity, striving for the betterment of their community? HC Media board member and Mason Ed Felker welcomed the Journal into the Saggahew Lodge's latest open house to give us a peek.
Hi everybody, I've been asked to give you a tour of the Haverhill Masonic Building. My name is Ed Felker. I'm a past master of Saggahew Lodge, one of the two lodges that meet here. The cornerstone for this building was laid in June of 1873, and it still holds the designation of being the oldest building in downtown Haverhill. It still is being used for its original purpose. So why don't we head on upstairs and I'll give you a little tour of what we have in this building. Now we have two lodges in Haverhill. The lodge is not actually the physical building, it's actually the group of Masons that belong to a particular lodge. The lodge room is where the lodge meets. This is what we affectionately call the gold room. It's painted gold, it has gold carpet, and it can be used for a multitude of purposes. Sometimes we use it as a lodge room for some of the smaller organizations that meet here, like the Rainbow Girls, which are a youth group for young ladies, or Demolay sometimes uses the room. It's smaller and it's easier to set up and break down. There are a lot of cool little artifacts we have hanging on the wall, historical things. They relate to the history of Haverhill and the history of our lodges. Some of the furniture in here is quite old. This is from one of the early sets from Merrimack Lodge. They are the older of the two lodges here in Haverhill. You can see that it's just beautiful woodwork and very old style upholstery. This is our main lodge room. This is where most of the meetings by the various organizations that meet in this building are held. We hold them in here. And it's a very large room, very high ceilings. It's very ornate, as you will see. All the different ceremonies are held in here, both public and private, when Masons meet. Sometimes we have public meetings like installations of officers. Our families are usually here, and sometimes dignitaries, members of the public invited, people who might be interested in becoming Masons. Merrimack Lodge is the older of the two lodges. It was, you'll notice, interestingly, that it says 5802 on their official seal. Now, 5802, how does that work? They actually were founded in 1802. And for the purposes of the way Masonry operates, we basically use the Hebrew calendar, give or take a few hundred years, I suppose. Saggahew Lodge ended up just using on our sign a regular old 1865 when we were founded. And this year's the year we're celebrating our 150th anniversary in existence. And it's a very exciting time for us. And we've been doing different activities to commemorate that.
My name is Fred Dobson. I've been a Mason for over 6 years. My father was a Mason for 52 years. So one day I asked him, I said, hey, I'd like to become a Mason. And he was actually one of the proudest days of his life after the birth, I think, of his 3 kids, was when I became a Mason.
Freemasonry has helped me to become a better person. I feel very grateful for having the support and having a constant test of my own abilities with the supportive network to help me in that. And in turn, I hope that I've helped others in their own path.
For me, Masonry has been an extension of my faith and my family history as well. My father was a Mason. My best friend was a Mason. My great-grandfather was a Mason. I feel as though this has been something that's given me the chance to explore that and live it and use it practically in my everyday life. A lot of the other guys I think in this room would agree. It gives us the chance to really give back for all the good things that have happened to us.
To learn more about membership in the Freemasons, visit haverhillmasonry.org or call 978-374-8981. The road race season is now well underway, and that means it's time for the Merrimack Valley's flattest 5-miler, the 18th annual Baldi River Run and Fitness Walk on Sunday, May 24th. The historic race begins and ends at the Garibaldi Club on Washington Street and features a fabulous post-race party. The fitness walk begins at 10 a.m. and the river run at 10:30. To register and see the course map, visit baldirun.com. Get ready to dance, play, and win great cash prizes with the Breakfast Exchange Club of Greater Haverhill at their Walk to Rock scavenger hunt and party on Saturday, May 30th. The scavenger hunt begins at 5 p.m. and winds up at the Tap, where the party will just be getting started with food and live music by business time. Proceeds benefit the Community Action Fuel Assistance for Elders program. If you'd like to purchase tickets, visit facebook.com/BECGH or call Diane Galvin at 978-556-5418. If you have a story or event you'd like to see featured on the Haverhill Journal, call us at 978-372-8070 or email info@mediahc.org. And don't forget to like us on Facebook or at our YouTube channel, HCTV Haverhill. And that's what's happening in Haverhill the week of May 7th. I'm Lindsay Paris, and we'll see you next time.